Hey, what's up guys, Auto Fanatics. So today's video is gonna be a deep clean on my Shelby GT350R. We got the car up in the air on my jack point jack stand. So the primary focus of this video today, and I haven't done this on this car in a while, I'm gonna be cleaning all the undercarriage wheel wells. You see all this junk? Look how dirty this car is all inside here. So unfortunately, when I put this car away for the winter, there was a lot of road salt and sand and crap on the roads, and it was just really, really bad, the weather. So all of this I want to clean. I'm going to detail the hose suspension, the control arms, the brake calipers, the rotor hats, front and rear. You guys can see it here. So all of this is going to be cleaned with Auto Fanatic wheel cleaning foam, all of the wheel wells, all of this, the springs, the sway bars, pretty much everything. All right, so moving along to the wheels, you can see the carbon fiber wheels are absolutely disgusting. Also, I ran through some puddles, and there's probably some petroleum in those puddles, and it left browning on the tires. So going to do a mineral spirits wipe on the front and back side. I'm going to focus on that as well. You can kind of see here, this is the rear tire. Same thing, these tires are brand new, but just got some really nastiness. Now, the most important thing that started to bother me the most, that made me want to do this, is the engine compartment. If you look here, it's just really dusty, dirty, and gross. All of this has got to be cleaned. All of this down here, you can kind of see it, it's got to be cleaned. So what we're going to do is, after I'm done doing the wheel welds, I'm going to pretty much do the wheel welds and the wheels, okay? Break the video up in a couple of sections. Then I'm going to drop the car down on the ground, and I'm going to show you how to safely and easily clean your engine compartment without the use of a pressure washer. We're going to pretty much be using my pressurized sprayer from IK. We're also going to be using the Auto Fanatic wheel cleaning foam, because if you look here, a lot of these wires are very, very thin gauge, and you don't want to pressure wash the engine compartment. You got to be really, really careful. You could actually damage a lot of this stuff. And you also don't want to do it with an APC, because APCs have acids in them, and the acids could actually get into the connectors. I'll show you like right here, and you could actually cause corrosion in these connectors, and that could lead to also some sorts of dash faults and running faults on the car. So we're not going to be focusing on that today. The Auto Fanatic wheel cleaning foam has corrosion inhibitors in it. We're going to safely foam it up, we're going to agitate it, we're going to rinse it down, and I'm going to show you guys start to finish right now. All right guys, before we get started, I just want to show you what we're going to be using today. I have various different detailing brushes from different vendors. This one specifically is a very stiff bristle. This is what we're going to use for the rotor hats and some of the harder to clean suspension components. We also have the Rupes Ibrid Nano outfitted with a cleaning brush. We're going to be using Auto Fanatic 007 Gloss Enhancer, Auto Fanatic Hyper Gloss, 007 Snowstorm. We already got the Auto Fanatic wheel cleaner outside in the foamer, and we're going to be using the odorless mineral spirits to do the wipe on the tires. So let's get started right now. All right guys, we're going to get started on the driver's side front. We already got some Auto Fanatic wheel cleaning foam in the Foam It foamer charged up, and we're going to start spraying this all down and scrubbing it. It was really dirty in here. Okay, and you can see this is a stiff bristle brush, perfect for rotor hats. Take the work stuff brush. And whatever spots you possibly might miss, we're gonna hit this anyway with the 007 ceramic products to give it some protection, and also to make sure we got everything cleaned. And this car is like brand new, so it just definitely needed a good clean. That's why you gotta have a lot of brushes. Gotta get all the way up in there into the strut tower. Do the brake calipers. You can see this is from the clearance, well, the lack of, on the carbon fiber wheels. So when you take the wheels off, it's a good opportunity to just kind of do the best detail you can. What a difference. Everything came out. You can kind of see it. Looks brand new. So this is going to drip dry. Then when we're done, when we go over it, we're going to blow it out with some compressed air and hit it with the 007 ceramic products. But you can just see it already. This little sticker here, probably remove that. Why not, right? Just rub that off. These professional foamers are absolutely outstanding. And if I didn't mention in the beginning of the video, we are doing a spring sale right now on a lot of our car care products. So you guys can go to our website. I'll have the link and the code in the description of this video. This brush is absolutely awesome. I don't know where they sell this, but this is a parts cleaning brush. It's not necessarily used or marketed for auto detailing, but for doing rotor hats, this is by far one of the best brushes because the bristles are too soft on most of these brushes. This is very rigid and firm, and that's what you're going to want when you're working with metal. When you're trying to clean metal. In there, do the axle. Let's rinse. And you can see, look at all the dirt that's coming out of there. Look at all that dirt. Wow, this was filthy. So guys, look at all the dirt that came out of the passenger side front wheel well. Absolutely nasty. That's all being eaten up with the Autofanatic wheel cleaning foam. I actually hit it twice, and I gave it a second scrub. So this side was a little bit more soiled than the driver's side. So we're gonna rinse this off. Just wanna show you guys a quick clip as far as what's coming off, just with gravity. You're looking at it right there. So we're gonna stop this, rinse it, move over to the other side, and then we're gonna show you guys the wheels, and then we're gonna do the engine bay and the final little touch-ups to conclude the wheels off spring detail. All right, guys, moving on to the wheels. Just want to show you how nasty. See that little rainbow hue in the tires? That means that I must have ran through a puddle that had some sort of oil and then it dried onto the tires. So the best way that I clean tires is odorless mineral spirits, which I got right here, and a clean microfiber towel. I'm not going to waste time using a rubber and tire cleaner and scrubbing it with a brush. To me, I just think it's counterproductive considering how I want to strip all of this down to fresh rubber. So I'm just going to pull it back. And I'm just going to show you guys, and I've showed this on the channel for several years. I'm just going to show you one wheel. We're going to clean this one wheel. I already did the whole undercarriage of the car. The wheel wells are done. Calipers are done. And then we're going to move right along. And the final part of the video, I like using white towels. The final part of the video, we're going to be doing the engine bay. So you see, look at all that nastiness that's come right off with little to no effort. Definitely makes sense to have a wheel stand that you can spin the wheel around. Just like that. And you can probably see it in the camera already. This tire is perfectly clean in a matter of seconds. I'm also going to do the back side because, of course, the back of the tire definitely ran through that same puddle or whatever the hell I was driving through before I put this car away for a few months. And unfortunately, it was boxed in with a bunch of other cars, and I wasn't able to clean it. So, okay. Just saturate the towel well. Man, look at this. Let me get closer. Man, this tire is nasty. Whatever the hell I ran through. This is by far a better cleaning solution for rubber than using a brush and an APC or a tire and rubber cleaner. I don't care what anybody says. It's just faster, more effective, and gives you a better result with less effort. I'm all about efficiency. You guys watch the channel for years. I'm always trying to show you guys tips on how to do better jobs quicker with less effort, less equipment, and less tools. So then I take my finger and I stick it inside the bead, just like that. Now this tire is perfectly clean. Now we're gonna just move over to foaming this. We're gonna clean this. We're not going crazy with steaming the inside barrel. It's just a total waste of time. I'm not doing that today. But then we're gonna clean the face of the wheel. We're gonna dry them, and we're gonna put all 4 wheels and tires in the garage, and I'm gonna show you guys the finished results of the deep clean on the Shelby GT350R. And sometimes I go over the thread too, if I see anything that's kind of nasty. So look at that. A perfectly clean, stripped satin rubber finish. It's fresh. It's got all the tar and all the oil and whatever I ran over off the tire, and it looks perfect. All right, guys, we're gonna be cleaning now the wheels with the Autofanatic wheel cleaning foam. We're just gonna zap them really quick. And these wheels are not the easiest to clean because of the way the carbon fiber is molded. You got very, very tight corners. So I'm just using a soft detail brush. And we're just gonna kind of go in there like this. But for the most part, they're relatively easy. Also, when you have the lugs in the car, it's also hard to get around the lugs in this little pocket right here. So taking them off the car a few times a year or after a track event is definitely a smart idea. And this wheel stand is from a company online called Source Garage. They sent it to me a couple of years back. I still use it. They have revised it since, but I'll be honest with you, for what I use it for, I think it's great. I don't think I need a revised version, unless they wanted to send me one, but I don't think I need it. Okay, so we're all good there. And I actually had the pressure washer turned off because we don't need pressure right now. I'm just rinsing the wheel off. It's perfectly clean. And I'm going to show you the final steps before I put them to the side, and then we mount them back on the car after we're all done. Because if I use the pressure washer right now, where I have it set at 1800 PSI, it's probably can knock the wheel and tire over. That's why I have it turned off. And just gently rinsing your assembly. Okay, now we're going to grab a little bit of Autofanatic 007 Gloss Enhancer Ceramic, and we're going to spray this on the wheel before we blow dry it. Now, you might ask, why did I spray it while it was wet? And it's because it's going to dilute itself and leave no residue. And you're going to make sure you're going to get some nice protection. And if there's anything that you may have missed with the brush, you're just going to get it off with the 007. And this is a PFM Grills Garage detailing towel. And that's it. So as you can see, this wheel and tire is perfectly clean, ready to go back on the car. So I'm going to finish the other 3 and we'll come back in a little while. All right, guys, while I'm at it, I'm denibbing the tires. As you can see here, these are brand new tires. I haven't done this yet. Okay. So when you denib, just take a razor blade, pull up. And that's pretty much. All 4 wheels and tires are perfectly cleaned, detailed inside out. There's none of that sludge, none of that crap in the tires. You can kind of see the finished. It's absolutely smooth, perfect, like new. So we're not done yet. What I usually do, I leave the wheels and tires in the garage because I'm going to foam the car up right now, and I don't want to introduce any more soap and foam on these. I want to have these ready to go on the car after we're done with the next step. So let's get that started right now. All right, guys, the next step, it's been several hours. The entire chassis, suspension, you guys see in here, it's perfectly cleaned, but we're still not done detailing it. The whole undercarriage was cleaned. Now I'm going to foam the car up just with a new product that we're actually going to be releasing soon, which is a ceramic infused touchless snow foam. We're going to foam it up, let it dwell, rinse it off, blow dry it, dry the car, and then when I'm done, I'm going to show you some tips on how to finalize inside your wheel wells and chassis area before you bolt your wheels on, and then the final step of this detail, depending on what time it is, if it's gonna get dark out, we're gonna be doing the engine compartment, and any drips and runs that we'll get on the paint, we'll just touch that up. So let's just get going right now. This is gonna help any pollen that settled on the car while I was doing this all day. So that's it, guys. We're gonna let that dwell for a couple of minutes. You can actually see it's pulling a lot of pollen off already. We're gonna rinse it, we're gonna blow dry it, we're gonna rinse off the wheel wells again, and then we're gonna do the final detailing inside there before we drop the car back on the ground and we bolt the wheels on. All right, guys, you can actually see the intense water beating behavior of our new ceramic infused touchless wash. So the car was already cleaned. I cleaned it a few days ago, but it just had like a lot of pollen, and there's also some overspray from all the stuff that I'm doing inside the wheel wells. The final step before we get the Ego blower, 007 Gloss Enhancer ceramic spray liberally all the plastic, all your suspension, everything. This is gonna give it a nice sheen. Do your calipers, do your rubber boot. Just get in there. I mean, this is carpeted, so we're not gonna go crazy with that. You can see the water break as soon as the product hits the water that's on there. And we're gonna blow it. Time to blow it all out. So we're just gonna go over all the plastic. You can kind of see it by hitting it with the 007 and giving it a chance to soak in. Now all your plastic trim has a nice finish. I don't recommend anyone use tire dressing or any kind of a thick coating because it's only gonna attract more dirt and it's gonna make an absolute mess when you wanna clean it. I don't recommend doing that. And this is just a PFM wax removal towel that has been soiled, and then it becomes designated for stuff like this. Get inside the brake cooling duct. There was a lot of sand in there. It looks absolutely brand new. The entire wheel well, all of that's done. I'm a real peeve for clean sway bars and end links and brake hoses. That is perfectly clean. All right, guys, just want to give you some progress shots. So the car is fully cleaned, detailed inside out, undercarriage, wheels, brakes, suspension, chassis, everything is done. Now the final step we're gonna work on, we're gonna open up the hood, we're gonna clean and detail the engine compartment quick and easily using the Foam It foamer with some Autofanatic wheel cleaning foam and my pressurized IK sprayer. I do not recommend using a pressure washer. So we're gonna get set up right now. This was a pretty labor intensive job. Took most of the entire day, but you can see the results. It looks absolutely fantastic. The sun went down and the Kona blue metallic looks freaking awesome. This color, when it's cleaned, is one of my favorites on these S550 Mustangs. And also, I also like the antimatter blue on the GT500s. I mean, look at that paint right there. So We didn't need to do a contact wash because they did a contact wash several days ago. All we did was we used a new product that we're working on, which is a ceramic touchless snow foam. We foamed up the entire car, rinsed it, blow dried it, and then followed up with a PFM detailing towel and some Autofanatic 007 ceramic. You can kind of see it there. So looks absolutely phenomenal. And this car is almost done. So let's pop the hood and get started on the engine. So guys, before I get started, I just want to give you some close-ups. If the camera could pick it up, you can kind of see how nasty and dirty this engine compartment is. There's dirt and dust everywhere, all the way throughout the engine compartment. So we're going to clean this up, and if you get any soap and residue on the fenders, don't really worry about that. You're going to touch it up at the end anyway. But the whole goal is to kind of clean inside the intake manifold, all of this, all the wiring, anything that's dusty, because it's, like I said, the car's a couple of years old already, and it really, really needs a good engine clean. All right, guys, so we have about 3 ounces of the Autofanatic Professional Wheel Cleaning Concentrate in the Foam It 100. So we're going to foam everything up well, all the plastic and the wiring, and like I said in the intro of the video, it has corrosion inhibitors in it that if it gets into any of the wiring, it's not going to give you that white corrosion and cause an issue with a resistance drop. So we're going to try our best not to get it on the paint. Trying to go all the way in there. I mean, the car is just filthy. From the roads and all the dust and everything that's getting blown around in New York with all the construction constantly, this car is really, really dirty. And it absolutely needed. So we're gonna let that dwell for maybe a couple of minutes, and we're gonna grab our detailing brushes. I got 2 of them here. And we're just gonna do this technique. It's pretty simple. You're going to try to make sure you hit every surface the best you possibly can. And you're probably going to miss some spots, but you'll get that at the end. This is crazy. There's like a lot of dirt all in here. And we got a little bit of overspray on the fenders. Not a huge deal. We're going to go over the car at the end, and we'll just give it some touch-ups, and I'll give you guys some beauty shots. So like in here, you're going to want to use a smaller one. So, see what I'm doing? I'm just chasing it. Nothing fancy. It's a very basic technique. Now, this is where you want to get all that crap. It's actually enjoyable right now. It's the end of the day. There's no noise. All the landscapers left. I live in the only neighborhood where there's landscapers here 7 days a week, which there should be a law against that, but there isn't. And I think that's why some neighborhoods there are HOAs. I'm going to be honest with you, and I don't mind that. I'll pay an HOA if I never have to hear noise on the weekends. But just like this. That's for my C-Tech battery tender. Okay. So as you can see, I didn't get the intake filter wet. I don't want to get that wet. That's just going to be another issue. So I'm going to pull that out separately. Actually, I think I have a brand new one. I think I'm going to probably change that out anyway tomorrow. I got to see if I have one in stock. See, there's like a lot of junk down here. ABS module, power brake booster. And this car cleans up nicely, but like I said, it doesn't have any aero panels underneath. So a lot of the junk that you drive over or that blows into the car gets all over the engine compartment and suspension. So it's not a very well protected car. And like I said, it's an American car, so they're going to save money. Whereas like on a Porsche or even my Alfa, everything was covered on my QV. you can actually see probably down there, you can see all the dirt that came off just touchless, just with the gravity of using the wheel cleaning foam diluted and letting it sit on the plastic. It kind of just pulls everything off naturally. You can kind of see the valve covers right here. So we're gonna go get the IK sprayer loaded up, and we're gonna rinse this down, give it some protection, blow dry it, and we are ready to go. All right, guys, so we got the IK sprayer loaded up to 120 PSI. And you can see how nice and easy this is. Where it's got enough atomization and pressure to do the job, and you're not gonna have a risk of blowing out all your wiring. So I definitely suggest you invest in something like that you could crank up the PSI really high to do stuff like this, because it's just such a better solution. And it's very concentrated. You see how we're kind of going in there and we're concentrating the area that we're working in. So I'm just gonna wrap this up, and then when I'm done rinsing, we're gonna come back and we're gonna dry it off and do the final detail on the engine compartment. All right, guys, I blew dry it with the Ego blower. Now we're just gonna use some Autofanatic Hypergloss ceramic waterless wash on the plastics. I actually showed this on a YouTube short not that long ago. Spray it liberally. And we're chasing with some compressed air. I'm gonna get sprayed up there. I'm just gonna take a PFM detail towel. So you can see it already, how clean the plastics look and the painted surfaces just by doing what I just did. So you're just gonna go, you're gonna chase the area like I'm showing you. Definitely use compressed air. It's probably the best way to do it. You don't want to let water sit in there. And we're definitely gonna have to clean up some spraying on the outside of the car. So I'm gonna work on this a little bit more, but I just want to show you guys the technique. It's pretty easy. Box. And this is another area where I don't recommend tire dressings, because you're just going to attract more dirt and dust from the engine compartment, especially on a car like this. It doesn't have a lower panel that's protecting everything from coming up. But that's it. So I'm going to work on this a little bit more, and I'll show you guys when we're done. But you can see it already. The engine compartment looks way better than I started. We've got all that dirt out from under here. Now the plastics are starting to get a nice little consistent sheen, and we're just going to go and do some touch-ups. And it's probably spend about another 30 minutes on this, but you can see it right there. It looks a hell of a lot better than when I started, and super easy to do without using a pressure washer. So I'll show you guys the finished results. I'll give you a little walk around and give you some beauty shots on the full detail on the GT350R. All right, guys, the engine bay is fully detailed to perfection. Like you saw the process, just use some compressed air. We use the Autofanatic wheel cleaning foam with the foamer. We use a compressed air sprayer. We didn't use a pressure washer or a garden hose. You can use a garden hose lightly. We agitated all the areas with a brush. Then we blew dry it with the Ego blower. Then I sprayed some Autofanatic hypergloss ceramic all over the plastics and rubber, and you can kind of see it there. It makes everything look new and fresh. It gives it a nice protective coating, and it was done in a matter of minutes. So hope you guys liked this video. Please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Autofanatic channel. And FYI, if you guys are interested in any of the products shown in this video today, head over to the Autofanatic website. Today we're doing a spring sale for 20% off. The code is SPRING20 on all the car care items that are listed in there. We also have a lot of bundles with foamers and all this other cool stuff. But like I said, thanks for watching. This is a really cool video. The Shelby looks absolutely outstanding. I'll give you guys on the outro some beauty shots of the whole car, but you saw what we did. We did the wheels. We did the suspension, we did the wheel wells, we did the full chassis. I did underneath the diffuser by the exhaust, underneath the transmission, the complete engine compartment, we did the paint, everything is done. The interior I did earlier this morning, that really wasn't that much to do except vacuuming and wiping stuff down. But hope you guys liked this video. Stay tuned for more content, and I'll see you guys soon.